Paul Ahey is 34 years old. He works as a senior tax officer for the Ghana Revenue Authority. We follow Paul through a typical day of work. First, he's going to visit a newly registered taxpayer. Accra, Ghana's capital. Although there is still much poverty in the suburbs, the economy is visibly booming in the city centre. This has not always been the case. Until the 1980s, the economy was barely functioning. Ghana reacted to this by introducing a series of economic reforms, changing its tax system with support from SECO and the German GIZ. Paul is visiting startup businessman Fad Mohammed in his new garage. Here he will verify the details of the recently registered taxpayer. Today, individual taxpayers and businesses are classified as small, medium or large clients. And this way, the authorities can register more taxpayers and adapt to their specific needs. The Swiss Embassy. Here, in the economic section, Hamis Ussif coordinates Switzerland's support for tax reform.
Ghana cannot depend on donor support forever. Ghana has to be able to develop the capacity to generate resources internally.
Accra's harbour is Ghana's most important trade hub. Most of the country's exports still consist of raw materials, such as cocoa or gold. Previously, high customs duties and VAT were the main source of revenue for the government. The economy became inefficient and lost its competitiveness. Today, the new tax system seeks to create incentives for entrepreneurship and innovation. The changes on the domestic market can be seen at the city's largest market. Here, Paul and his colleagues regularly check shopkeepers' documents. Their job is to inform the market traders about Ghana's latest tax reforms and to encourage the large informal sector to register their businesses. Taxing all shopkeepers is one of the strategies developed by the Tax Policy Unit. In line with the unit's objectives, Switzerland supports thus a fair and transparent tax system. Edward Larby, a leading analyst in this office, stresses the importance of cooperation between tax policy and administration.
Tax policy and tax administration are two sides of the same coin. You have to cooperate, collaborate, and compare the results.
We accompany Paul back to his office. A customer who has questions about taxation is waiting to see him. Within the tax administration, where the new tax policy is implemented, the changes made are clearly visible. The three former offices for customs, income tax and VAT have now been joined into one authority. Taxpayers' data are now put into the same database and online services are being expanded. The success of such reforms is reflected in taxpayers' level of satisfaction. Paul's boss, George Blankson, is firmly convinced of this.
The first option in the reform we are carrying out is to induce voluntary compliance and make tax payment an exercise in smile for the taxpayer.
Changes at the VAT house have been numerous. While there is still a queue, a lot of improvements have been made for taxpayer James Akrovi.
Previously, there was no space like this, big space like this, and taking the receipt and you have to queue for a long time. But now, compared to the special space like this, and the more cashiers also around, it's better compared to the previous years.
Before leaving, Akrovi gets informed about the latest developments. In future, he can conduct all tax affairs in one place, a new one-stop shop for medium taxpayers.
So next payment, I have to go there.
As one of the leading reformers, Deputy Finance Minister Seth Terpker is especially happy about this progress.
I would expect that we can strengthen our tax systems and we can make our expenditures development-oriented, with a tinge of social welfare. I would want to see a legacy of strong institutions so that, the current positive gains can be sustained.
Ghana is certainly on the right track. Thanks to the coordinated support from Switzerland and Germany, tax revenues have risen significantly. The additional resources are used, for example, to build new schools. These school children are looking forward to using their new classrooms. Dr. Joe Ahey of the Center for Policy Analysis stresses the importance of preserving the momentum.
But I think that the catalytic power, the multiplier effect of good economic management and governance is worth every Swiss franc that you put into this effort. That is more than building us schools and so on.
The tax reforms provide Ghana with a reliable source of revenue. The funds raised can then be invested in development and poverty reduction.
It's always a dream to become a tax expert, but within the next 5 years, I will want to develop my skills in taxation, and then after 10 years, I would like to see myself as a tax expert that will help formulate policies not only for Ghana, but for other developing countries around the world.